how do you shore up investors? And how do you make sure that investors feel a sense of calm, realizing that it may be a somewhat unknown space to some, but it is still worth getting into?
Well, I actually think it's maybe in many ways less scary than what sort of the reputation may suggest. And one of the reasons is basically that we've had a number of big technology shifts over the 30 years that we've been around as VCs, including with the advent of like broad-based PC, the internet, and then when the cloud computing and the mobile revolution came, those were quite uneasy for quite a few companies to sort of adopt those changes. And I think we're seeing the same kind of reticence with some particularly old school companies that don't sort of dive headfirst into this. But this is the reason why startups win over incumbents, because they develop products and that solve problems more effectively, and thereby they become more attracted to the capital markets as a result, and can find themselves on stock markets in a year or two.
Yeah, I mean, this segment has driven to, according to KPMG, they found that AI jumped to the second most important revenue driver for the industry after placing fourth in the prior two annual surveys. That's massive growth for a segment like this. Then the take-up of AI, is that going to just be broad-based now? That if you don't have it in your entity, no matter what entity you're in, no matter what sector of the economy you trade in, if you do not have some sense of AI capability, that you lose out? Or is that just the notion that we have from the market, and yet there's actually other fads? Because we have seen the things like Internet of Things play into this market. We had a huge data, big data segment as well of the market. All of those did kind of fade, although they did bring us to where we are now.
Yeah, but I think it's fair to say that if you ask any developer today, I would say that 90% of them that have adopted a generative AI, assistant to their workflow, they are probably 60 to 70% more productive. So there is like a productivity boom that is happening in real time right now. And those who are not looking seriously into that will be inevitably losers. And that is just one example of developers. There are in the education space, we see also tremendous amount of change. And you probably also saw the listed entity Chegg basically lost a big part of its market cap due to the fact that they weren't fast enough into the generative AI space when that was so evident that it would impact the entire education space so clearly.